Among them we too all formerly lived in the lust of our flesh, indulging the desires of the flesh, of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. A great theme of the book of Ephesians is how Jesus Christ came and at his death put an end to the old law. And with putting an end to the old law has made two people, the Jews and the Gentiles, into one body, into his church. Now he says in chapter 2 and verse 1, he says that you were dead in your trespasses and sins. And of course, I believe what he's talking to is the Gentiles of the church, in which you formerly walked according to the course of this world. He said, according to the prince of the power of the air, and of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. And he said, among them, we too. We too. And I think what he's talking about here is the Jews. We too all formerly lived in the lust of our flesh, indulging the desires of the flesh of the mind. And we were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. In the end of verse 3, where the Apostle Paul writes that we were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. You know what John Calvin has done with this verse? One of his favorite verses to go to support total depravity. That at birth we were already sinners. And whenever you read this passage here, that's what it appears. But set that against the teaching of the whole Scripture. Does that make sense? Does it make sense that the sins of the father or the sons are going to bear up the sins of the father? No. The one who sins, that is on him. But again, it says that we were by nature children of wrath, and depending upon your other translation, it says by custom we were children of wrath. They have it say by nature. We think in our mind, well, we were born this way. But what he's saying is by custom, by customary practice. By doing something over and over and over again. This is the way that these folks were living. In what way were they living? They were walking according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. They were walking in accordance with Satan. Of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. What is the son of disobedience? In John chapter 8, in verse 44, Jesus says to the Pharisees of his day, he said, you are of your father the devil, and you want to do the desires of your father. If people are sons of disobedience, they are children of disobedience. This is how they want this is how they want to walk. And their lives reflect it. But what is going to come of the sons of disobedience? Look over in Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 5. It says, for this you know with certainty that no immoral or impure person or covetous man who is an idolater or who has an inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. The Apostle Paul uses the same language in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 5, where he says, "Therefore consider the members of your earthly body as dead to immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and greed, which amounts to idolatry. For it is because of these things that the wrath of God will come upon the sons of disobedience." Going back to Ephesians chapter 2, he was telling these Gentile Christians, he says, you were dead in your trespasses and sin, which you formerly walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, and of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. But God, being rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our transgressions, has made us alive together with Christ. He has made us alive together with Christ. So if these Christians were once spiritually dead, what is it that made them spiritually dead? They were without Christ. They were walking in accordance with the spirit of the sons of disobedience. But the Apostle Paul says, you don't live that way anymore. You don't have the spirit of the sons of disobedience. Instead, now you are a child of God. You are a Christian. And being a Christian, this exemplifies the importance of continued obedience. Because again, whenever we look at Ephesians chapter 5 and Colossians chapter 3, what does it say will come of the sons of disobedience? The wrath of God. The wrath of God. We can read about the wrath of God coming upon the sons of disobedience in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. Those who do not know God and who do not obey the gospel of Jesus Christ. But I wanted to present these thoughts tonight in order to encourage us to continue in our obedience. And to remember the importance of being obedient to God in all things. And to remember what will come of the sons of disobedience. Let's stand and sing song number 326.